George, we're going to start with the men's 800. Again, loads to get through here, loads to pick. Possibly one of the strongest sort of fields for the trials. Who already has the qualifying time of 1:45.20 in the men's 8?
So Elliot Giles ran 1:43.6. Oliver Dustin with that 1:43.8. So Giles's was indoors, I think. Webb ran 1:44.14 last weekend, so a couple of days ago, and he beat Elliot Giles actually, who ran 1:44 mid. Daniel Rowden 1:44.6 and Carl Langford 1:44.9 are the athletes with the standard. And then just outside it, you've got Whiteman and Grice, but I think they're just doing the 15. Finn McClear's ran 1:45.8. Alex Boschel, Tom Randolph, Archie Davis, they're all in the 1:46s. But I think it will probably be 3 from those 5 that have the standard, plus maybe Finley McClear if he can run it on the day. Max Bergen has it as well, but he's out injured with a hamstring injury, I think, which I think a lot of people would have been hoping he was there just to make sure the race was fast. That's the way he races. But yeah, he's out for definite, I think.
Yeah, I've gone for, and again, as I've said before, could have picked 2 teams quite easily. I've gone for Giles, Dustin, and Rowden. But again, that means you're leaving out Webb. We hope Finley McClear runs strongly. So many names here, which you could see sneaking into that, again, that 2nd or 3rd spot. Seeing Dustin run that race, that 1:43 last week, though, makes it very difficult to not include him. So it'll be really interesting to see. We saw Rowden won last year in a really strong performance. Kat, I know you enjoyed that performance from Daniel Rowden last year. Who's in your top 3 for this one?
Yeah, so he's pretty much my number 1. I think he's going to win it. I think we haven't seen him race too much recently, but when he did race against a really quality field, he still looked like he belonged there. So I've got high hopes for him. I think he'll win. And then I say Rowden, Dustin and Giles would be my 1, 2, 3. But the 800 is just one of those races, isn't it? It's really anybody's if they go too slow. But again, the pace should be pushed by the people that want the standard. So yeah, it's going to be a really exciting race.
Finley McClear should make the final, we think, George, and perhaps can play a part in the story.
Yeah, definitely, because he's obviously got, particularly, well, compared to most younger athletes, he's got a lot of experience of running rounds and running or racing regularly. They do that in America, and he's obviously just coming off NCAA indoors, sort of running rounds and being one of the favourites. So he's used to that. But obviously, the thing is for him, he's presumably going to have to run pretty hard in the heats because it's going to be a tough heat to get through whoever's in his heat. And then sort of a day later, he's going to have to run half second or so PB to get the standard and then finish top 2, top 3. So it's a big ask, but definitely. So I think he's got, from the interview, you feel like he's got the right attitude to be able to do it, and he'll believe in himself. So hopefully he can. I've put Jamie Webb in. I think where he's just beaten Elliot Giles, which I think psychologically will make a big difference. He seems to be peaking pretty well. I think his first race was in Doha, ran badly, ran 1:48. And since then he's ran like 1:46, 1:45, 1:44, and just seems to keep getting better. Worry maybe is with Ollie Dustin that he's kind of timed it 2 weeks too early, and not because he couldn't afford to time his peak like someone like Jamie Webb can, because he had to get the standard. But I still think that speed is just, he's fastest out of them this year. I think that speed is going to be pretty tough to beat, and it makes heats much easier for him because he can just kind of sit and then just run a hard last 150 and he's going to be fine. So I've gone Dustin to win, and then Webb and Giles second and third.
Great. It will be really interesting to watch this one.
Do you think through any of these heats people will have a go? Did you see the American trials where there was one of the women had got the standard in the heats to basically get it out the way for the final? Do you think there'll be anyone like McClear that will say, right, I'm going to get this out the way in the heat and then just see what I can do in the final, because kind of takes a bit of the pressure off in these more tactical races.
Yeah, I think the difference maybe with the US trials is it's spread over like 8 days. So I think I think it was someone Cooper that maybe did it in the 5K, but then she has 4 days rather than 24 hours or less to get ready for the next round. I mean, it's definitely possible. I think that maybe if you're someone like Finley McClear, your best chance of doing it is probably in the best race, which is going to be the final, most adrenaline. But I like that tactic from that American woman, just because I think they looked at the weather forecast something and worked out it was going to be too hot for the final. So do it in the heats and then you've got a few days. So it was genius, to be fair. And hopefully it pays off for her and she gets in the team. But I think if anyone is going to run standard, I would expect it to be the final. But yeah, you never know, definitely.